order form for our next project, this is going to be a little time consuming because once you put the fillable fields in, you might want to modify them to make them work a little bit differently. My content down here is not completed. I just want to kind of keep it there so we can show you what works, what doesn't work, and why you need to make some alterations. Order date, these are again the fillable fields that's put in Acrobat. And I can type in here like January 20th, enter. Promise date, this one has a little arrow next to it, so if I type in Jan 20th and enter, it's going to type it in with a different, it's going to be in the numbers rather than letting me put letters in here like January. 10 o'clock in here, if I do 10 a.m., is that going to work? It's not going to work. This one wants 10 a.m. this way. That's not going to work either. It's just 10 o'clock. We've got some checkbox in here. You can turn them off and on. We've got different fillable fields for your copy. We've got on the bottom, if I scroll down, again, not all of these are completed. Okay, I'm in a preview mode, so I'm just seeing what's working and what's not working. What I do have on, if I want, say, 2 cakes at 10 inches, because I can change. All right, I can change the flavors. I want lemon, I want 2, and say the person at the store is typing this in, say they're $25 a piece. Hit the enter key or tab key. I now have a $50 price, subtotal, tax, and my total's not working just yet. So again, going back in there to modify. Again, preview is great through here. Dates, do you want these numbers, letters? Do you want I think this one just, let me see. Is this the one I got set up differently? Nope, not that one. Maybe it's this one. I can click in here and actually choose a date if I want to. So it depends on how you want the simplicity or specific fillable fields too. But anyhow, you can see how everything's nicely aligned. You need to make sure your file is set up in InDesign, so it's really nice and clean. So when you put the fillable fields in here, it looks well as too. So going to InDesign, I'm hoping you remember how to use tabs really well and work in charts. But I'm going to go through this with you a little bit just to make sure we have good clean lines. By going through the process here of design, this information is needed, client information is needed, cake ordering table is required, and so is the payment and this information down here. The content in the middle here, cake options and flavor options. This you can modify. This is going to allow you to change what you have on here, change the design a little bit. I thought it was good to put some, different flavors just to show it, but to have them all listed here, even though they are listed in flavors when I get to the fillable fields. But maybe you want the client to actually, the salesperson typing the flavor rather than choosing. These are the 3 main cake options, and there are a bunch of specialty cakes, but you can either put them in a little bit or none at all, because if we did a real order form, it would be much more detailed, much longer, because there are so many options. Boxes, cellophane, adding toppings, all kinds of different things to it. So I kind of took the basics, but the flavors and the 3 cake options are necessities, and the 3 types of sizes are necessities as well. Okay, so going to InDesign first of all. Tabs, very, very important. We know how to do this. Going to new, 8.5 by 11, half-inch margins, create. Okay, what I did do right away, just to kind of help me out, is there's my halfway point. Here's a couple of the options too. With my tabs, I wanted to keep it at 1/8 of an inch, so we'll see how this works out for me down the road. So I'm going to go ahead and just type in here for a second. Oh, I wanted to show you one more thing too. Cake order form. I did create it this way with lines on the top by themselves and labels below where's my, oh, I did not delete it. I deleted it on accident. Oh, there it is. Okay, hooray, hooray for the some things here. Client information. At first, I did set it up, don't get confused with these lines here, where I had first name with a tab, last name with a tab. And I think it looks nice this way, but with the fillable fields, all of the boxes for the fillable fields were different widths, and it kind of got messy. So that's why I went ahead and modified it to put the labels below. You can modify design as you wish, okay? So going here to tables, doing it the way I set it up, making a text frame, and let's do it a couple different ways. I'm just gonna set the lines, no, we'll do it all at the same time. So name, last name, I think I did the phone first, then email, and then address, and I'm hitting the tab, city tab, street tab, oh no, city, state, sorry, and zip. I like a clean layout. I just use Helvetica all the time on my assignments just to keep it simple. You can use whatever you think is legible, all right? So here's my content. Shift Command T for tabs. Let's go ahead. When you do tabs the first time, when you first set them up, select everything is my preference. Then I'll go, I believe it's under here. There's tabs. Okay. Beginning and ending of my text frame. So make sure you're using left and right tabs. Make sure you're using leaders, and you do not shift. Underscore is not acceptable. It will look awful. So again, nice and clean and tight layouts here. So what do we want to do? If I want, okay, we'll do a left tab here, and I'm going to put last name here. I want this other one. I want it left. There we go. Okay. So far, so good, right? Now I want lines from first name, a line, a space, last name, a line, next row. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and click and put a right tab. Now it's still a left, but I'm going to go change it to a right tab. And that's modifying where my copy is going because I only have one tab in here because I typed in first name, tab, last name. So that's setting up right here. All right. I do want, and we'll go and change the tabs in the text in a little bit. I need to make sure this is still selected. My right tab is going to be a leader. And there we go. So it's working. Okay. I want another leader at the end. I'm just going to click a tab, make it a right tab, add a leader, shift underscore, and enter. Okay. So this is kind of working, but not completely, right? So if I put on my hidden characters, I can see how I've created this document. Let me zoom it up a little bit more too. Okay, first space, name, tab, last name, return. But up in here in my tab field, that looks a little off, doesn't it? Okay, we'll move that later. All right, so in first name, I want 1, 2, 3 tabs, but I only have one. So if I go in here before last name, hit tab, now I've got the tab for this line. That's tab number 1. Tab number 2 is aligning last name. Click here, tab key. Tab number 3 is aligning with this one. So that's looking a lot better. I want to modify this tab, but I don't want to do it for every line. I'm going to do it one time. Select all again, and then move this over. If you're not quite sure, let's see, 7.5 inches. That works great on my layout. And I've got a couple things that's working. Okay, so going back to my file, phone, tab. So I need that's for one tab. Email is going to tab number 2, so add tab. Tab number 3 has not been added yet, and that will give me my line. Okay, so that's great. City, state, and zip is going to be a little bit different. So once I've got it set up for all three, then I go modify it per line. Okay, so the biggest thing with tabs is making sure you're selecting the same way all the time, being very aware of what you're selecting. All right, so city, state, and tab. Let's see. Address is probably pretty good here. So let's go ahead and just add. And since this is selected, I'm just going to click and make it in the tab. So I want city and state and zip. So city, state, zip, but I need left tabs for them. This is for city, state, and zip. Okay. I know I need a second tab here. We don't have enough tabs. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and so far I have 1, 2, 3, 4, but they're not lined properly. Let me go ahead and put this in here. Tab. So this is tab number 1. This is tab number 2, tab number 3, tab number 4, tab number 5. But I'm missing leaders in here. So I'm going to select it again, 1, 2, 3, clicking 3 times. And now I need the tabs for my leaders. So I'm going to click a tab here, make it a right tab, put a shift line in here, and that's going to be that tab. Add another tab here, making sure it's a right tab with a leader. And there we go. Now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tabs in here. And I have 1, 2, 3. I need a tab for state and a tab for zip. And then I've got it set up pretty well. What I didn't worry about too much is my spacing in here, because I'm going to move them anyhow. So I'm going to select this line again, selecting it. City. Okay, zip can be smaller. I'm doing like 1/8 of an inch. State can be smaller. And I think I put city smaller, but this is okay too. All right, so now my tabs in my text frame align per line, okay? Like these two are set up the same. So these, let me make sure I get that F so it's, okay. These are set up identical. Perfect, 3 tabs, 1, 2, and 3. This one is set up differently. That's where I've got my 7 tabs in here. Okay, so one way to do it is this way. Spacing wise, I'm going to make this 10 on 24 is probably the minimum I would need between lines of copy if somebody was writing. So if you use this order form for print, 24 would probably be a really good place for letting. Okay, now what I did to put the content below is I just copied and pasted. I did a select, copy, paste. Okay, doesn't look like much now. First name and last name. I need to get rid of the lines. So I'll take this one out. If I take one out of the tab, I gotta take one out of the line itself, the text frame. Selecting again, I'm going to take this one out. There's last name. And I probably made these smaller. And this line is going to go by, like, let's go 12. Okay. And then I came back and took out that content. Turning off my hidden characters. There you go. So that's how I set up the first item in here. And just looking at this one, this is one text frame, not a text frame in a box. And if you see that there's spacing in here, a couple little things, let's go up a little bit. Okay. If I go to my text frame options, Command B, object, I think it's text, there it is, text frame options. It's gray right now because it's open. Text frame options is where I change the inset spacing to move my order date down below the line so I had more space for the fillable field up here. And then my bottom left and right had some inset spacing, and I could probably take the bottom to nothing and just modify my frame. So spacing is by paragraph space after, and and then inset spacing to make this box so I have one clean file. I don't have a text frame plus a box, it's one element. Now these two things here, right here, these are glyphs. So I found them in the type menu to glyph, and I just found an element that I wanted. If I wanted a little box here instead, I could do that too, a little circle. I could do that as well. So there's your glyphs. And these are going to be put in, can be put in here, or they could put in, I'm going to take one of these out. I'm going to take this out. Okay, so I've got a glyph here, which is like text. It's not a graphic frame. I can't click and just grab it because it's part of text. So I'll leave one in and one out so you can see that the boxes can be put in later or in design as well. That is long enough for one. Let's stop here and we'll go to phase 2.